of bad bills and my bad chill. My past will not conceal my last meal. So until the rule is okay to be, and it's okay to see me in OKC, watching KD's threes and some KD threes. I'm finding out a way to please enemies without pleas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Greg Landorf with New York Sports and Rhymes. I've got a special guest today, hailing all the way from Oklahoma City. Andrew, what's really good?
Hello, I'm Andrew Ivy, and longtime NBA basketball fan, original Thunder fan, born and raised here in Oklahoma City, and grew up, watching a lot of college sports. Was a big supporter here when we hosted at the time the New Orleans Hornets with the Chris Paul, Tyson Chandler, Peja Stojakovic run. And then turning into getting the franchise from Seattle and rebranding it, kind of making it the sports center of the Oklahoma universe. I've worked with the WWLS FM here in the city before, and I've done a lot of different promo work with the Thunder organization in my professional time. I've just long been a fan and follower of all the players, coaches, and what's happening. Easily my favorite team. The first couple of years, they're everyone's favorite team, but no one knew what to make of them. By the time the Harden, Durant, Westbrook trio came around, they really kind of embedded themselves as the city's team and as, something you could gravitate towards and have, that real NBA cult following for.
I feel like Oklahoma City has done an exceptional job with that. It's similar to Golden State, but in a more raw and real way.
Yeah, I would say people not in Oklahoma, the Thunder have changed everything here in Oklahoma as far as the local economy, as far as the downtown area, bars, nightlife. A lot more national attention has been brought to Oklahoma City that it would have never received had there not been an NBA franchise here, and had the city not proven with the Hornet situation that it could maintain and support an NBA franchise. I mean, the economy and the downtown life in Oklahoma City is night and day from what it was pre-NBA. So the culture here has completely 180'd in the last 10, 11 years the Thunder have been here.
And with that culture change is just more culturally relevant because you have something that other cities have, which is a professional basketball team that the city can rally behind no matter what color your skin is.
Right. It's definitely a unifying identity. The unity is really what it brought. Everyone here was divided by college team. You were either an OSU or an OU fan. You really only paid attention to the college football season, where the NBA season, not only does it go so long, but then when you add the playoffs, the NBA fan, it doesn't discriminate, socioeconomically, racially, everyone. The one thing in Oklahoma you have is avid, loyal sports fans, millionaires rocking Oklahoma City on their jersey and, fighting against the Kobe Bryants of the world and the LeBron Jameses of the world, and wearing Oklahoma across their chest. That was something that really everyone in Oklahoma City, and the greater Oklahoma State area could get behind. So it was really just kind of a unifying thing. And then it really brought a lot of people into the state that probably wouldn't have ventured here just because of that interest. And I was saying on the side note, the Thunder still do some college things. At one point,
standing up,
they're considered the loudest arena in the NBA. Something that you won't see at a lot of NBA games. That's kind of a college tradition. Thunder fans don't sit down until the Thunder make their first basket in the arena. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of kind of small traditions that have been built up over the last 11 years with like Thunder Alley, watch parties, all those kinds of things that really have made it very inclusive for like all Oklahoma sports fans to rally around.
This is the one professional sport, I believe, that Oklahoma City has. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, we were very much known pre-Thunder as like a minor league destination, minor league hockey. And actually there's not a hockey team here anymore because they couldn't really compete with the scheduling of the Thunder. The arena has a convention center / arena across the street from it, and that's where the hockey team would play. And that's actually currently where the G League team for the Thunder plays.
It really is a unifying experience, and that's something that I've noticed with Oklahoma City. Something that I've really respected with the fans is, Golden State, when they got good, it was such a loud environment. It was natural as time went on, and they started to win championships, and then brought in Kevin Durant. Tickets skyrocketed, and the fan base became entirely different. It is all tech-centered. It's not the same people who really support basketball or have an understanding of basketball. It's all about money, and that's why they're moving to San Francisco.
Well, and another thing, like on the ownership front, Clay Bennett is the primary owner. He's the one that got the movement. Him and Aubrey McClendon were kind of the key factors in getting the team to move from Seattle to Oklahoma City, purchasing the majority share of Seattle, and having already that Hornet proof of concept in Oklahoma City, and then being Oklahoma businessmen. The thing there with ownership is once they brought it to Oklahoma City, they started dividing up ownership amongst Oklahoma business owners. So basically that the team could never be moved, and that you could never have let's say a Russian billionaire come in and just buy the majority of the team. Mm-hmm. So then you get all the businesses, all the local businesses become inherent sponsors, and all their employees have a stake in the Thunder. You know what I mean? Like I said, they really made it in. That's why they kind of wanted to get away from the Sonics name and the Sonics history. They really wanted to rebuild it and rebrand it as a only Oklahoman type deal.
With that, we're going to break. This is Greg Landorf. That is Andrew Ivy, and we're discussing the Oklahoma City Thunder, or the Oklahoma City Blunder.
I'm just saying, girl, just give a nigga some credit, but credit is due. Just give a nigga some credit, just give a nigga some credit, what credit is due.
Hey, do you know anyone with less than perfect credit? Maybe it's you, and your credit score is preventing you from your next vertical move, such as buying a house, a new car, or rental property. You're in luck, as John Jameson, the credit repair chauffeur, is here to make things kosher. Text the words credit repair to 347-966-9425. That's 347-966-9425. And my good friend, John Jameson, will help you fix your credit issues. He can help with getting late payments, hospital bills, foreclosures, divorce, child support, bankruptcy, repossession, and more removed from your credit report. John will provide you with the tools to get and maintain the score you deserve. Again, text 347-966-9425. The fun doesn't stop there. If you're looking for a part-time job to make some extra money working from home, earning a potential six-figure income, then pick up the phone and text INFO, INFO, to 347-966-9425, as Financial Education Services is always looking for new agents. Text today and let John's legitimacy get you started on the path to credit restoration and financial literacy.
Just give a nigga some credit, I said give a nigga some credit, with credit is due. Just give a nigga some credit, just give a nigga some credit, with credit is due.
Let me hear your initial reaction to the Paul George trade, whether or not you saw it coming, if you had heard any rumblings, or if you were completely caught off guard.
Yeah, completely caught off guard. Like everyone else, I was waiting for the Kawhi domino to fall. I had a visceral reaction of, I hate basketball. I hate everything. I was kind of in disbelief. The Thunder had appeared to be fortifying the roster. The things that people had always mentioned, he re-signed here. He took the 3-1. He got the bag. Most money he could get offered anywhere. Gladly took it. Said he liked Oklahoma. Wanted to, raise his family here. Enjoys fishing. Oklahoma's a great fishing state. NBA free agents out there listening. Oklahoma's a great fishing state. Paul George is a great two-way player. That is something. Oklahomans are very savvy basketball fans. They're very fundamental basketball fans. That goes back to the days of like Nick Collison, We can respect an alley-oop, a dunk, a half-court three, but we like a guy that can do the pocket pass and will set a hard screen and take a charge. You know what I mean? And Paul George seemed to check all those boxes on the court without a problem. But to go with a guy that's got a 3-year deal remaining and say, hey, come play with me, yeah, just force your way out. And then for it to happen in a 48-hour to 72-hour period with no one having any knowledge in the national media or local media, it was a seismic shift for everyone.
My question is, how do you think that Sam Presti acted in this situation, given the circumstances?
I would like to think that Sam Presti probably gave him the best sales pitch he could on the future. I don't really know. Sam Presti says now that he was forced in the situation. And I think what that falls into is that you've been going over the luxury tax. You've been paying the luxury tax for 2 years with Paul George on the team, both resulting in first-round eliminations. Ownership says, why are we paying a luxury tax for first-round eliminations when there's other teams going farther not paying the luxury tax? Here comes one of your most expensive players saying, I don't want to be here. So between ownership saying, I don't want to pay the luxury tax, and Paul George saying, I don't want to be here, I think that's what Sam Presti means by what he means when he says he was forced into the situation of removing him.
If anything, I have a newfound level of respect for Presti that Paul George was man enough to voice his opinion and say, listen, I love what you've done for me here. This is awkward, and I owe you the respect to come to you and ask for a trade. I'm not going to do an Anthony Davis.
Right.
For Presti to put the organization on hold as far as a contender and think about the future takes a lot of grit, belief in yourself and in the Thunder organization as a whole. It was handled exceptionally well. Unfortunately, you had to see Paul George go. With Paul George, were the Thunder a championship contender heading into this season?
Probably not. I mean, realistically, this team, with the way the West is constructed, was probably looking at a 5 through 8 seed, depending on how you want to shuffle it. The West is always tight.
The point that I'm getting at, to see how the team would just fold and collapse late in games and then give up, that camaraderie and that unity wasn't in place for the team to reach their ultimate height. And I wonder if Paul George, after spending a full year, the first year was exciting. Russell Westbrook put up historic numbers. Paul George did his own thing, and he really loved the crowd, and he decided to re-up and stay with the Thunder because of that experience, but expecting for them to take a step forward. Instead, they took a step back, and when Kawhi came calling, he realized, I am not in a situation that I thought I was going to be in. This is not the team that I signed that 4-year deal with
right
to win a championship, and really with Russell as my sidekick, that I am going to go much further with this dude, Kawhi. For you, who knows the Thunder inside and out, who has been watching this team since 2008, who has seen the original Big Three get drafted and come to fruition and play in an NBA Finals, and can talk about the playoffs leading up to the NBA Finals. What about Russell Westbrook won't allow the Thunder to cross the finish line?
Well, there's a couple of things, I guess. The first one I would say is I don't think Russell Westbrook has ever had experienced, or for lack of a better word, militant head coach. I think every Thunder fan or anyone who's watched enough Thunder games can watch Russell Westbrook go into the huddle with Billy Donovan, and here we go. Last second. Is it the play call that was bad, or is Russell just not listening to the call and just freelancing it on his own? And is there no repercussions if he goes against the grain or overrules the coaching decision? That's part of it. I'm not sure also that every NBA player is fit to go along next to him, similar to a, like, let's say like an Allen Iverson type, where, you know, you have a great talent, but you really need to centralize a lot of role players around that talent as opposed to matching him star for star. Now that the league's become a little more big three oriented or buddy oriented, Russell Westbrook's style of play doesn't exactly fit the 2019 NBA roster construction. And I think also the thing from watching Russell Westbrook very early on in his career, if he does not have a large faith in his teammates, he just does it himself. And that's a hard habit to break. He used to play with Nenad Kristich, old Desmond Mason, and all this stuff. And he would do the routine point guard play. Oh, I made the pass, I set the screen, got the ball back, put it back under the basket, and the guy missed the layup. And he's like, why would I do all that if I can just cross this guy over and dunk and get an and one? Well, that works okay when you're on a team on the come up and in your early 20s. But then it becomes very hard to kick that habit, I would say, as you get older and then as you're surrounded with other guys that feel competent. You know what I mean?
And that can deliver and that can hold their weight, yet he still feels like that he needs to take over.
And it's not a personal thing. You know, Westbrook he only has one speed, and that's 100 miles an hour. He's not going to slow down. He's not going to back off shots or anything like that. The other thing I think maybe part of wear and tear over his career, and maybe, you know, just doing other things, his shooting has definitely fallen off. This last season he was the NBA's worst three-point shooter. Some of that, it was not designed for him to be a three-point shooter until the Golden State phenomenon really started up. And then it was, well, I've got to match, you know, every three-point shot by the other team with my own. But he's just not like that. Other things that fell off for Westbrook, his MVP year was an 85% free throw shooter. I think he shot 66% last year.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you're looking at in like a 3-year span him dropping 20% on his free throws. And he's a high contact player. He should be getting 10 to 12 points at the line every single game. My
thoughts on Russell Westbrook is he's still one of the only killers left in the NBA when it is a league full of let's go with our best friends and play here. Russell Westbrook doesn't fall into that category. To let your free throw percentage slip off like that, that's a blatant carelessness. Is there any padding the stats with, okay, well, I can miss this free throw, but I can grab that board and I can lock down another triple-double average? The real thing with me that bugs me the most that's fallen out of his game that I wish he would bring back or clean up more, he used to be such a downhill player, right? And he still is. Like, go to the basket, open court, whatever. I love that reference as far as downhill because obviously it is a level court, so there really is no such thing as downhill. Well, right. I get exactly what you're saying. I'm giving you a hard time. Off elbow jumper that was just as good as a layup. Where he would be going towards the hoop. Taking the defender, you're putting the defender in a winless position. Either they're going to have to foul you or they're going to have to back up off you and you're going to have a wide open elbow jumper. All his momentum was flowing there. Yeah, and it used to just be electric. You could just snap your fingers and boom. Bang, it was just as good as a layup. And for whatever reason, he started getting away from that. Since his days in OKC are probably numbered. They're numbered. What are your thoughts on Russell Westbrook and his future? I mean, all indications are they're going to try to move him as quickly as possible. Knowing Sam Presti, he's not going to want this to bleed into the beginning of the season. So that's why the Miami rumors are out there because Westbrook in a roundabout way has endorsed the Miami option. So that's why that kind of continues to be the center of discussion right here and now. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Westbrook will be moved one way or another. Too many teams want him, and he's too much money for the Thunder to keep on their books in a rebuild. And then Russell Westbrook doesn't want to play on a
for the
rebuilding
OKC
team.
Thunder, where they're trying to back off everything, and 8th seed in the West is your best case scenario as currently constructed.
And now this brings me to my question is, obviously Russell Westbrook, a special player. Maybe it's playing in the wrong generation. He's a killer, sort of like Kobe. However, if they could do this all over again, do you think that Russell Westbrook would have been the focal point, or that they would have chose Harden? Because I remember that finals vividly when Harden just really struggled, and you could just see his whole body language and demeanor shut down. And I think one of Russell Westbrook's biggest strengths is he can play a variety of positions. Put more faith into James Harden, not making him the sixth man, finding a way to bring him into the starting lineup, having Russell be that Swiss Army knife, and then letting Durant be Durant. Do you think if they had switched that up at the time, the three of them could still be together at this moment?
I think there's a couple of factors there. I think first, if the franchise should have prioritized any singular player of those three, it should have been Kevin Durant. I think they conceded a lot of attention and love to Russell Westbrook. That's not a bad thing. You know, they had this 1A, 1B kind of thing. And Westbrook, it seemed like when he was drafted, you have to remember when he was drafted, we were an 18, 20-win team. And Durant was the only future piece on the team. And everyone else was kind of NBA outcast. So really, Kevin and Russ learned to win together. Harden is a little bit tougher to tell when you start talking about six man and stuff, because at that point in time, he was not a finished product, or he was not even close to the player he is right now. You could tell he was a lefty. He could still draw fouls. He could hit shots. But he was a great passer. But these were all potential. The ceiling he was nowhere near his ceiling at that point in time. I think how they could have reconstructed it would have been to, be more Durant-centric with the offense. They were very Durant-centric with the offense, but I mean more as far as also in leadership of the team overall. Not trying to make everyone happy, and that's kind of what they ended up doing. It was they kind of said, we love you all equally. They know who should have the ball in what moments and all those kinds of things. Also, Westbrook was not a point guard in college. He's not a natural point guard by trade. He would be what he becomes is he's either a large NBA point guard or he is a small NBA shooting guard, just depending on if you believe in the old 1 through 5 positioning of players. But also, if you go by that logic, then Kevin Durant should be a 5.
Right.
And you got a 7'2" guard.
I still feel, and I think you hit it on the head with trying to be everyone's best friend and making them happy, is ensuring that core was inseparable. Was it possible to keep that big three intact?
Yeah, it was. I think you had a couple of things that happened. You got to remember at the time, again, very young. Also, to kind of circle back to that original big three, I don't know who will ever not get credit for this or who will get credit for this. Remember, these guys were not finished product, nowhere near their ceilings. There's a lot of development that the Thunder did with all three of these guys. You have to remember when Harden left, that's the first time he had ever been moved, obviously, because he was so young in his career. And I really think that was the first time that both Durant and Westbrook kind of understood the grown man business side of the NBA. They had really never been involved with anything like that with a close guy that they had drafted onto the team just like them. I think they thought, we'll do this together forever. It'll be wonderful. With the Harden trade, I think that's when Durant and both Westbrook realized the business of the NBA. And, the kind of life's not always fair. And sometimes bad decisions are made that are supposed to make sense later, that kind of stuff. Because they were all kind of on cloud nine and all excited to play with each other that next season following the finals. So I think once they got that taste in their mouth with Harden getting traded, that's kind of where the cracks in the foundation began. Because Billy Donovan's on the last year of his contract. I don't expect him to be re-signed. The biggest problem with Oklahoma City and a coach is they want a coach who's going to be a company man.
They want a yes man.
Coach.
Is that on Presti?
Yeah, that's on Presti, because that's why Brooks, it's almost robotic when you watch a Sam Presti interview or an Oklahoma City Thunder coach interview.
It's like Eli Manning. Yeah.
It's like Manchurian Candidate. It's the most generic responses you'll see, and that's why they'll never get, or at least under the Presti regime, you're not going to ever see like a Mark Jackson type. He's going to be outspoken, not going to follow the company line.
David Fizdale is an up-and-coming coach. The jury's still out on him. Let's see what he can do.
I'll trade you Donovan for Fizdale right now, straight up.
I will not touch that.
Well, and what's going to happen here, and that's why I kind of brought that up, like, think about the coach, because now you're going back to the beginning, basically. The last 10, 11 years have been great for the Thunder, but now they're going full rebuild. All these draft picks, young talent coming in, probably going to be in the lottery contention next year, as much as that hurts me to say. So who is going to be the coach to take on the next wave of talent in Oklahoma City?
Oh, the perfect coach is, dude? Dave Yeager. Give me Dave Yeager. I love him. And he's Jeff Van Gundy Jr. with the bags under his eyes. And he's pissed losing his job to Luke Walton, who I think will do a great job there. Yeager helped turn the Kings around. He's only succeeded wherever he's been, which is Memphis. Got fired after bringing them to the playoffs. They didn't return to the playoffs. Then the Kings. So the fact that Yeager is out there, I think it's time for OKC to do a little Jersey Shore and start taking shots at Jägermeister, Jaeger bombs.
They need it.
Thank you a bunch, and go figure. Two really intelligent folks having high-level conversations who met at a fucking weird place. Just shows you
that's someone on the edge of the end of the world.
It just shows you that there are good people in life trusting this process. You link up with the people you're supposed to get back in touch with. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
And the whole world is going mad, daddy, you're sad, daddy. My only advice, go and get you a bag, daddy. Libaka, on trial, trying to portray a boxer. Beating up on my niggas while the CEOs watch them. Tables turn, lesson learned, my best look. You jump sides on me, now you about to meet Westbrook. Go celebrate with your team and let victory vouch you. Just know the next game played, I might slap the shit out you. Technical foul, I'm flagrant, I'm foul. They throwing me out, you throwing the towel.